Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'm back for another stream. Hey, what's up? You're a Sigma cat? Would you change your name? Yeah. How am I? Pretty good so far. Just finishing up some drawing I was doing yesterday. My dream is to make a graphic novel with art on the level of Kingdom Come. I'm gonna put in the hours though. Also love your art. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think you can definitely pull it off. Not really any reason you can't. Hey, what's up, man? How many hours a day would you say you draw if you draw daily? Do you take any days off? Um, it's kind of hard to like, I don't really track how many hours I draw, but like I'll often do maybe like a 3 to 5 hour stream. I've been doing that kind of daily, and then I'll probably like draw off stream for like, I don't know. It kind of depends. It like varies anywhere from like sometimes I only draw like 3 hours a day, and other times I might draw like 9 to 10. So it's like it's just a wide range, and it kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day, or if I'm like super exhausted, then I probably will draw less that day, or sometimes um uh, like I'll be so busy with other things that I might not be able to draw. But I try to draw every day. Is there a specific perspective you go to or you go off the top? I find that one way perspective is easier and can still pull off 3D. Two-way perspective is still a little too advanced for me. For like for perspective, I'm kind of just like winging it. I don't really like a set perspective. Um, and like I'm not really like looking like I'm not thinking about a grid or anything. It's just kind of like drawing characters and comparing the sizes to the other ones, and kind of gives me like the most freedom with my drawings. Like just making like just like simple depth things like characters or objects that are close to you are like larger, and things that are further back are smaller. And then I'm mostly just thinking about like when I am thinking of like more perspective things, I'm just looking at the floor, or kind of like a general idea of where the floor is on my scene. But yeah, sometimes I'll do like warped or very distorted perspectives just for fun to add more movement. Do, 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 do. Um, I make art to your art style inspire. Draw a Naruto, please. The only character request that I'm doing right now is if you super chat $10 or more, um then I'll pretty much draw whatever character you want on the page. Boom, boom, boom. 9 hours a day, man. I wish I work 9 to 6. It's so hard to balance time sometimes. But like you said, once I start, I kind of get lost in drawing. It's fun. Yeah, I don't think time really matters as much as people probably like weigh it as. Like I don't think it's I think someone can draw for like 30 minutes to an hour and be the equivalent of someone who's drawing like 13 hours. It all just depends on like your enjoyment. Kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's about more so how much fun you're having is because you take someone who doesn't like what they're drawing, or is like, I don't know, really like unhappy when they're drawing, and you take someone who's like really excited, and they're drawing, but they're drawing like a lot less. The person who's like more involved with it, I think in a positive way will like excel a lot faster. Have you ever done fisheye perspective? Yeah, I used to do a lot of fisheye, but now I actually think that it's kind of boring. Um, like my drawings like tend to lean like towards that fisheye distortion, like having things warped. But yeah, I think I don't know, for me it's really boring to have a set perspective, like fisheye, 3 point, 2 point. Like they're just everything is like so figured out and there's not much room for like I don't know. I find it kind of restrictive. But I actually found it far easier to understand than 3 point. I know Jungi really did fisheye a lot. Yeah, I think fisheye um I like learn perspective from fisheye. Mostly because like when I used to practice perspective like intentionally, and I don't even think you need to practice perspective intentionally really, because like perspective is just there to like kind of mimic or simplify like what's around you in real life. So I think you can just pick up on the same ideas without like a grid or actually learning perspective. Same with like any fundamental. They're just simplifications of like what we see in reality. And there's like a million different ways you could go about learning it. It's just like yeah, it's just like the fundamentals are just like identifying different things that make us like see in 3D space or like with like light, shadow, and all those. But yeah, I think fisheye is probably a good starting place for if you want to learn more of like a grid because it's like it's weird to say, but I think it is one of the more simpler ones since you pretty much have like one point in the center of your page or whatever your um, horizon line is. But yeah, and then everything kind of just like goes off of it. I think it's also much easier to visualize drawing inside a bubble, which is pretty much what fisheye is, and way easier to visualize drawing inside a bubble than it is a square. And even like our eyes and like reality don't even follow 3 point or like the grids are not accurate with how we see in real life. Like there's distortion on the ends on like our peripherals and yeah, like I get art block all the time. Um yeah, I don't really ever have art block anymore, but I'm also just like drawing really random stuff. And if I can't think of something to draw, like I'll literally just start well like I thought of something to draw, but usually if I can, then I'll just start like placing down lines or like with a brush, I'll just kind of like start placing down like random strokes and different things. And I already kind of like just thought of drawing a tiger here, but if I didn't know, then I like whatever these strokes start to look like is then what I would turn it into. But yeah, I think it's a lot easier when you're drawing from imagination to not have art block. If you're drawing from reference a lot, I know notice when I drew from like only reference, art block happened all the time because it's like you have to like think of an interest that you want to draw and it's kind of like you need to think of an idea on the spot where like for me drawing from imagination it's really I'm just like placing down marks and then the drawing is just like happening right away so there's no like I don't need to think about anything it's just kind of drawing and that's all that like really matters for me. Like I don't really care about the end results that much, but more so about the process, because that's kind of like the part that's fun for me. So yeah. Are there vanishing points when you see when you draw? Is there like a plane for characters to get smaller as they go further back? Do you usually have to go to a point? No, I don't think of like vanishing points at all when I'm drawing. It's let me see if I have Do, 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 do. Like all I'm thinking about, like for perspective for me is just kind of like I don't think about grids or anything. All I'm thinking about is like space, just space, really. Like if I have a if I have a character here, let's say this is the first character I draw, then all I'm thinking about is if something is in front of this character, it'll be larger, and I'm comparing like the size of his head and different things. So if this is my first character, then my next character, I'm thinking of mostly space. So like the space part, I'm thinking about throughout the whole drawing with like every feature. So if he has clothes or even just his neck, like I'm thinking about like positioning, but I'm not like on a grid or anything. I'm not visualizing perspective on the page. And then my next character, like it doesn't even matter how, but as long as the character's face, they don't even need to really be lined up, but as long as the next character in front is larger than the one behind, then like from what I found, that's really all that matters to get like some kind of believable distance and space, which is kind of all perspective is just space. So then the next character will be larger, and then kind of like comparing the two to get the size of the to make sure that it's actually larger. And then I could just keep going, and then a character a little bit further would be bigger. And then I could pretty much go on forever and ever just keep going back further and further. And then since I have no grid, these characters could start like warping and twisting, and it really doesn't matter what I do. And I could keep going further, like another characters maybe like even further up and further in front just because he's larger. And then I could even like keep pushing the foreground even though it doesn't look like there's that much space. I could have a character's head like up here. And the thing that's kind of fun about perspective is even if proportion is off, or like a character is too big, or like why this character is tilting his head, it's like you literally don't know what's off this page. So he could be looking out a car window, he could be like on standing on top of something, he could just be taller. Like there's literally like infinite possibilities to explain like what what is happening in your drawing. So like a lot of things like kind of just don't matter. But yeah, and then like with it warping and these characters could like literally be starting to tilt And even the tilt doesn't really matter for like believability, and because really the most important thing is going to be like some kind of ground floor. So if my ground comes through here and I adapt the ground to those characters and then have it going through and still like a ground over there, then I can draw different like a trash can. I could draw a table or sorry, a bench, and then have trees. So I think honestly, the most important part of perspective is really space and like knowing that things that are closer to you get larger and things that are further back get smaller, and also things that are closer will have more detail because they're more in focus and things that are further back are less in focus. So they're not going to have as much detail unless you're like a bald eagle or something that has like really good vision. But yeah, as long as like I then create like a believable atmosphere around it. So like add in these different things. Um, you could add like a car back here and still kind of like go in with this more warped perspective without really like any grid or anything. And then since this car is back here, then I'm thinking of how the tree would fit in relation to it. And then pretty much keep going further and further back. And then I could just keep going on and on. Buildings, and just pretty much keep going back. And like as long as it looks like there's an environment that people could like live in, or there's like ground where people could stand on, then there's enough believability to where like a lot of things start to not matter. It's interesting how everyone's different. You use imagination a lot for everything. I don't get art block, but I always draw from reference. I just challenge myself to draw the first things I see from Pinterest. Yeah, that could help definitely. Mhm. Do I read chat? Yeah, I was trying to answer a question from chat. Oh wow, that does make sense. That's a good idea. I should start trying to draw from imagination, but my memory bank is at 0. It'll take time, but I think it's so beneficial given how fun it is. Yeah, I think you have a lot more memory than you probably think. I think a lot of it is just like the connection between your mind and like basically being able to translate what you have in your mind for memories onto the page. I think that's probably the actual thing that like makes you think that you don't have like a visual library, I guess people call it is. But yeah, I think everyone knows like if you have seen a tiger before, I think you could definitely like draw a tiger from imagination or memory. And because you've already seen like the features before and that memory is like stored somewhere, but it takes kind of like a little bit of training, I guess, to kind of like get the muscle memory and connection to your mind to then kind of like take those stored data pieces Sounds like a computer or something, but to take those stored data pieces and then like implement them on the page, which I think is just like a lot of repetition over time. And you'll just get better and better at recalling things that you see, and then you'll kind of have like this I don't know, like way of putting that on the page. Boom, boom, boom. I I really want to know if drawing on singular separate sheets is better than having 50 sketchbooks. I think it all depends on what you want to do. Um, like for me, I want to do like a yearly like art collection kind of book. So like for me, drawing on sheets, oh, and prints and different things like that. So for me, drawing on sheets is just a lot easier to take like photos of or scan. And I kind of like having like a bigger space, whereas if I had this size on a sketchbook, it'd be like a huge sketchbook and it needs to like be folded open. I don't know. But yeah, for me it's mostly for like I want to start doing a yearly art collection book, and this just is way easier for me to like scan or photos of separate sheets. And I used to do like wall drawings on like a 8 foot paper on my wall, but it is horrible to try to take photos of that because of like shadows and things, and it can't scan it. So I kind of stopped doing the wall drawings just because it's like I can't really stream it. I need like a specific setup, and yeah, it's just kind of a whole hassle. But I don't know. And then like sketchbooks, I'd probably draw on them more if the photos turned out a little better with like my current setup. So I think it all depends on kind of what how you want to use or what works better for you and kind of for your like specific situation. And also like which one you like doing more. If you don't like doing sheets of paper and you're only into sketchbooks, I mean, you can find a way to make it work. Like I don't think it really matters what you do. It's just kind of dumb, but how do you achieve the smudge effect? I'm using my own ink, slightly diluted in brush pen, and I find everything comes out quite wet. I love the smudging you do for shading. Yeah, smudging is like very ink dependent. Um, there's not many inks that I've found that really get like a good smudge. I wish I knew what kind of ink Pentel puts in their color brushes, and I would just buy the separate ink. But yeah, only I've only found like this brush, the Pentel color brush, to have like a good smudge. And then there's like pilots. This pen is really good at smudging. So it's like very ink dependent, but like I have like fountain brushes, and they're not as great at smudging as some of the other ones. And it's also paper dependent too. Like this if I was gonna smudge with this ink on Bristol's smooth Bristol paper, then the ink will like it'll smudge like pretty much I could get like a huge portion of the page covered with a gray tone. But this is like a smooth watercolor, so it's like doesn't pull as far, which I kind of like because if it's too smooth, then the gray tones kind of go a little too crazy. But then like I don't know what paper this is, but it doesn't smudge. I have already a lot of ink on my finger, but it doesn't smudge like to the same degree. So it's pretty ink and paper dependent. And like the Sumi ink that I normally draw on with the brush, the dip brush, that ink like doesn't smudge that much, but usually the ones that smudge seem to be water-based inks. what is the CPDE of the brush pen the code of the brush pen? Um, I am not sure. It just says 101. I'd probably have to like look online, but I have the in my description, some of my videos, I have this one in the description. It's probably because I'm using platinum carbon ink, which is a waterproof ink for fountain pens, but it probably affects the smudge factor a lot. Yeah. Mm, Inks like vary so much, so it's kind of hard. Most inks aren't that great at smudging though. From like, oh, Crayola markers are really good at smudging. Mhm. Yeah, I think it has to be like a very water-based ink that's like I think the non-permanent water-based inks would probably be best. But I'm not sure about fountain ink because like I have a fountain ink in this brush and it doesn't smudges well. It kind of just drags the black. Whereas this one, I think like the it dries so quickly that it will just kind of like drag only a portion of the black. You never use reference, so how do you get art block? Yeah, I'm not saying art block is like only for reference. Um, but I don't know. For me, I like literally just place down lines and then like for me drawing, I like to like really focus on like adaptability kind of. And I think that's like the main thing that I like. It helps like me be a little more creative and experimental. So like I literally just like place down lines and then or place down ink until it starts to look like something and then I just go with that. So it's not like there's no time for art block because it's just my hands already moving. So I don't know if you could like do a similar thing. I talked about previous videos and streams, like I was just like placing down blobs of ink and then just seeing what it looked like the most and then went with that. So and then it kind of like gets me into different ideas. Like for this one, I've never drawn more of like the Roman soldier armor or anything, but kind of just like started placing down some ink and then it started I kind of got the idea as I was working on it and then it's kind of turned into what the whole rest of the drawing is. So I think a lot of art block is kind of thinking that you need an idea to start your drawing, where I don't think you really need an idea or that you want to go in the drawing with an idea already planned. You think ArtWad is a good program? I've never used it before. The only programs I've used is Krita on my computer and then Procreate. It's kind of all I've tried out. I don't use reference much, but would you think it's overall beneficial to at least practice with reference? For me, I don't practice with reference. But I'm also like I only like to draw from imagination and I don't really care about like the other side from drawing from reference or like doing like life studies. Like I'm just not really interested in that side at all. So for me, like I just won't do it because I don't like it. I think it's like really boring. But I mean, if you like it and like you have fun with it, then I don't see why like not to do it. Mhm. Yeah, for me, like I pretty much only care about like this worlds of imagination, and that's kind of all I want to like draw in and learn about. But that's probably a pretty extreme end. Mhm. I also find it really hard to like learn from like if when I used reference in the past, I don't ever feel like I learned anything. I feel like I was just looking for like key points or kind of like I was always just measuring like distance. Like if was looking at a reference of a face, I'm really only measuring distances of things, which like it probably can help for like drawing from imagination, but for me drawing from imagination is like more of like construction. Like you have to build things from the ground up, and I think like just the things that you can learn from reference, for me anyways, don't make like a large enough percentage. Like I think most of the my mileage comes from just drawing from imagination. I think like in a way they're like two different games almost, with are like two different like positions in a sport, and they have like different traits, or like if you're good at certain things, you'd be like stronger in a different position. Gotta go. Bye. Have a good day. Yeah, man. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I think if your understanding of things like anatomy aren't great, reference can help you a lot to kickstart. So when you're trying to imagine, it's way easier. Yeah, I mean that like it's like I can only say what works for me. Like everyone is different, so um definitely don't do something just because I said. Like always test the things on your own and see if like something is actually like good for you. You're gonna practice for your soccer and go PR. Yeah, man. I wish you luck. That sounds pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, I use reference all the time, but it's just I'm like only observing and I'm not drawing while I'm using the reference, and I'm mostly just trying to like get like key points off of it. Like if I'm learning um I don't know how to draw a tiger, I'll look at like a photo of a tiger and see kind of like what are main things that make it a tiger versus like a different cat or different animals, kind of like the key features, and then I'll go and like use those on my drawings. You gotta practice the art too. Yeah, I'll see you, man. That made sense. Using reference to observe rather than to guide the art would definitely feel more freeing than trying to draw directly from reference. Yeah, a lot of the times when I'm like using reference, it's kind of like following my interests. So, like, if I want to improve my samurai, so make it more accurate, or find more features of samurais that then I can take and morph and change on like this playground kind of like space of drawing, then I would go and this week I watched like the Netflix documentary on like history of Japan basically. And it's like I'm basically doing it because I'm interested in it, and I want to use or pick up as much data as I can from like seeing the visuals and connecting it with like history, and then it gives me more options than when I go to draw. Whereas to like play around, but I'm not always trying to replicate or make it accurate, but more so add on to like more items and things that I can put into my drawings. A three-headed tiger. This tiger got little toes. Your stream is so quiet that the ad was a jump scare. Yeah, sorry, man. Sometimes when uh, am I really focusing or really into the drawing, probably won't talk too much. I really like coming up with like fake things to talk about, just to fill in the noise. Do you like silence when you draw, or do you usually listen to something? Yeah, I'm kind of weird. I actually like the silence. Especially for like running. I know a lot of people listen to music when they run, but I feel like uh especially when I'm like doing something, I kind of just want to like think in my own head while I'm doing it, like running. I like to like think a lot when I'm running and just kind of like use it as like a way to kind of like think about what I want to do or what direction I want to go. And then like for drawing, I like to kind of like immerse myself in the drawing. And music nowadays kind of like makes it very hard to like actually immerse myself in the drawing, since it's like this constant noise that almost like distracts me. I don't know how to explain it. Mhm. I also get really burnt out from listening to music. Like if I'm listening to something for like an hour, I could probably only listen to music for like an hour, and then I just feel like really drained and exhausted. I know a lot of people love listening to music when they draw though. Like my sister, she finds it like hard to draw without music. So like the exact opposite. Spartan helmets are kind of hard to draw. They have like a very specific shape to them. I like to have some sort of noise, just something. Sometimes I put on Columbo for background noise, but I usually get wrapped up in the show after an hour or two of drawing. Yeah, I used to like draw in my living room and then have like something playing in the background, like YouTube or something, just kind of to keep my brain awake. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Bray? I'm gonna go take out my dogs and heat up my tea since it got cold on me, and I'll be right back, guys. All right. Hopefully, I'll burn my tongue from tea. Hey, what's up, Jordan? My phone just gave me a notification that it's dying. I don't want a repeat of yesterday where I forget it and took like a whole 10 minutes to get the stream back. I bought a Pentel brush. Time to try a new art style. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun to play around with. Hey Bryce, I asked the same question yesterday, but internet died, so asking again. Yeah, no problem, man. I don't mind when people ask questions. I can visualize and draw rough image from imagination, lay down lines, and all but the quality, especially if I draw direct with no underlines is really bad. Yeah, I think it's normal for you to feel like it's probably like not up to the same like level as okay, I guess my internet disconnected there too. Yeah, so for your question, I think it's like pretty inevitable for that to happen. I mean, it happened for me when I was doing it as well, like transitioning from I didn't really do too many sketches. Like I kind of like practiced pretty early on with doing pen, but um I think it's like mostly just a time thing of getting used to like drawing with a brush or ink or like without a sketch. It just kind of like takes time and really is just kind of like muscle memory at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean the downside is that like you'll pretty much only have like one shot to make a mark. Um, but there's still like a lot of options that you have even after like you make a certain stroke or place a certain line. Like you could always change up the character, and I like to like adapt from the lines I make. So if I wanted to add like a bear in this drawing right here, then like maybe this isn't the eye that I was like trying to get, but then I still always finish out with it and just keep going on until I get kind of like um, something close to what I'm doing. But yeah, that's kind of like the downside with drawing without a sketch is that you kind of gotta take what you can get out of it, and it's really like I think if you can be like really relaxed about the results, I think it will probably work out better. Um, but yeah, if you're kind of like a perfectionist, then it definitely will be pretty hard to transition. But yeah, don't really know what I can really help with too much on it. But a lot of the way that I draw is just kind of like adapting to what happens. Like this is kind of turning into more of a thoughts. So I would just like take it for what happens and then just go with it. But it's kind of a um, I don't know. Maybe if you're like going for a more specific thing, then I'll just take multiple tries. But like for the way I draw, it's very adaptive and kind of taking what I can get and playing around with it. But if it didn't turn out like a bear like I wanted to, then I would literally just go again and repeat, and then maybe start with like different features that will start to make it look more like a bear. So yeah, that's kind of how I go about drawing with ink. But how would you say I increase the quality of the work? Just draw individual objects more or scenes? I think about the object more when drawing. I don't want perfection, just good or decent for a start. Yeah, I think that's a really good mindset. Um, I think it depends on what you're going for. If you want to draw scenes, then I would say like draw scenes because whatever you are doing is what you're gonna get better at. So, like for me in my art, I like to group as much stuff into like the same thing as I can. So like when I'm drawing, like all of the everything is just clumped into one like action of drawing. Like I don't like separating too many things. So like if I was gonna even when I'm doing more individual, like when I was learning about rifles, I was like watching a bunch of YouTube videos on different functions of guns and like kind of like how they work in different things. And then instead of just going and drawing them separately, I want to like integrate I don't know integrate I don't know why my brain is fried right now, but I want to kind of like put them into my drawing. So then even I would just like implement it into a scene like this, kind of like I'm doing now with like the more Roman style helmets and different armor in that. Like I've never drawn Roman things, but I've like gathered some like information in the past couple of days from like videos and whatnot about them. So then I'm like sort of like dumping whatever info I have onto my drawings, but still keeping like the scene and everything. So like even when I was learning, I mean I'm still practicing like rifles and every other thing. Like every time I draw, I'm still practicing shadows, perspective, like anatomy and everything. I don't think it kind of ever stops. But yeah, when I was practicing rifles and different things, I would just go and think of kind of one that I would want to draw and then do my best to draw it out, but then also kind of like put it into my scenes as well. And I think doing this and incorporating it like directly into what you're already doing kind of like is almost like a fast forward because if you already want to draw like scenes and different things and then any data you collect putting it straight into like putting it into a scene because at the end of the day like for me like the whole reason that I learned like guns and rifles is so that I can put them into my scenes. So instead of like going and practicing them separately, I want to like go for like straight away what the goal is that I'm trying to do and like add it in. So yeah, then I would just kind of like go and practice and draw characters with guns and different things. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, whatever you're practicing is what you're going to like learn about. And so like for me, I like to do like scenes of characters. So that's what I'm gonna like be improving at because that's what I'm practicing. So yeah. Hope the that long answer helps. It's kind of why I decided to like basically when I was transitioning from still using direct reference, I decided that I was gonna not draw from reference because I basically only care about drawing from imagination. So I figured the best way to improve at drawing from imagination would to be basically drop everything that doesn't pertain to drawing from imagination. So, and I also really like drawing with straight ink. So, and I wanted to draw scenes. So I basically have just been like going for that. Wanting to draw a scene from imagination with ink. And I keep going for that over and over and kind of just like improve each time. And so I think whatever it is you want to do, kind of like go for like the most direct way to get to that without all like these like mini obstacles that it's very easy to create. Kind of like if I was gonna practice hands, um like it could be good to draw only hands over and over on a page. But then when you go and you try drawing the hands in the scene, now it's like another step because now you have to transition from drawing hands in not a scene, and now you have to like find a way to incorporate them into the scene. Whereas if I was gonna do it, I would just put it straight into the scene, and then I'm like actually like hitting the core of what I want, kind of thing. My brain library is good, but that translation, I guess, from my brain to paper is not good. Yeah, I think that is just like a matter of repetition and drawing over and over. And the more times that you like keep more times you kind of like extract the what's in your mind to the page over and over, like that mind to paper connection just kind of like builds up, and it gets a lot easier to transfer like the data between different things. And like I've noticed it's a lot easier for me to like learn. Same with like now when I learn, I'll watch like documentaries or like absorb and I observe different things, and like I'll watch a video on guns and it kind of like visually clicks because I've been practicing like over the years of just only observing and then going straight to imagination instead of using direct reference. So you can pretty much do anything. It just takes like repetition and building it up, and it's like a very slow build up. Yeah, and that's what I want. Create scene that are in my head basically, and hopefully one day create a comic book from it. Yeah, I would say like if like a comic book is your goal, then and that's like what you want to achieve, um then I think like drawing comic panels and just kind of like going for drawing a comic book and not worrying too much about like if you're like if it's at a certain skill level or like further on a path. But yeah, if you like if I wanted to get good at creating comic books, then I would like draw comic books. It sounds very simple, but then if you repeat that over and over, then you'll get good at creating comic books. Where like if you practice scenes um, to work towards making a comic book, then I think you'll run into like a lot of transition periods of like trying to incorporate your scenes into a comic book. I mean, not saying you can't do it, but it's just like if you want a very direct path, I think going for what you want straight off the bat, I think can get you there faster. take a shot for every comic book. Yeah, I just think there's like there's too many things that um like like comic books have like their own thing versus like doodling on a page versus comic books. There's like it's like a whole different world or game that has a lot of different things that are more important for like comic books specifically than like just like randomly doodling like that. You'll probably want to learn those things and pick up on those things as like soon as possible. That same should I catch up? How about the only way I've ever created was from imagination, no reference or anything, but that was mainly illustration. So when I found out those large grouped or filled illustrations and that same energy in comics is what wanted my ability to draw just disappeared. Mm, I think you can definitely do a comic book from like the same way that you're doing illustrations from imagination. You can definitely do a comic book in the same way. I think it'll just take some time to get used to. But yeah, I mean, if working on a comic book is taking your like ability to draw away, or like you're not liking it, then it's probably like something you might not actually want to do. What is the glove for? That picture looks amazing. I'm a big comic fan, and this looks crazy. The glove is just so the ink doesn't smear. It looks like stream of consciousness. Consciousness in drawing. Yeah, that's kind of what I usually do. It's just whatever whatever comes up on the page. Yeah, no problem, Tiger. I hope some of it helped out. Yeah, I think whatever can get you to like draw the most is like probably the thing that you also like the most. Like for me, I like drawing like a lot of goofy characters and kind of like blend in a comic or not comic, like cartoony style with like some more realistic things. And in the past, I used to try to draw like very realistic, but it kind of takes the fun out of it, and I like being like I like thinking of like very imaginative ideas and kind of letting like creativity go wild. So like add in like more cartoony stuff, even if it's like not very realistic, gets me to draw more. And so I kind of like lean towards that a lot more lately since if it gets me to draw and I'm enjoying it, then I'm probably gonna progress a lot quicker. Green is the best Jolly Rancher. Oh yeah. Mm. You guys weren't supposed to see the Jolly Ranchers on stream. That's how I write. Recently, I've started taking drawing seriously. Yeah, blue raspberry all the way. Yeah, that's actually my least favorite. Well, actually, I think cherry might be my least favorite. I don't know. It's either cherry or blue raspberries. Definitely like my least favorite. I like grape the most. Most people say cherry and grape more for me. Yeah, I think it's crazy a lot of people don't like the grape flavor because that's like actually my favorite. But yeah, the cherry and the blueberry are like I think it's like pretty agreed upon that everyone likes watermelon which is kind of bizarre. But I guess watermelon's kind of good on like a lot of different kinds candy. It depends on the candy, but true. I feel like most things I've tried, watermelon's pretty good. You lo you love watermelon, but don't like watermelon flavored candy. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm like the exact opposite. I actually don't like watermelon, like actual watermelon that much. Now I need a snack. What? No way, that's a first. Yeah, I don't know why, but I don't really like watermelon that much. I mean, I would take fruit any day over like vegetables probably. Um, but yeah, watermelon's definitely not like one of my favorite fruits, but I would still eat it. I'm the biggest mango hater. Yeah, I'm not a fan of mango either. A good mango would probably be my favorite. Maybe grapes depending on the day. Yeah, I like grapes, strawberries, and bananas are probably like my three favorite fruits. And apples. I like apples. Sorry, Milan. I know a lot of people like mangoes though. I love making moons and with faces. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Nice work. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, no problem, man. I like to share my drawings with you guys as much as I can. For the print collection you're working on, how many pages do you think it'll be? At the moment, it's like 540, like around 540, I think. Yeah, my dad's helping me put it together, and I think like at the moment, kind of like just need the to work on the cover, and that's probably one of the last steps. So yeah, hopefully I can get it out to everyone pretty soon. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty chunky book. Might become my inspiration Bible. Yeah, it's like the last 3 years of my art put into one book. Will it have shipping to Europe? I'll have to actually check that out and see. Yeah. Once I have it finished, I'll probably like make a video, and I'll also talk about it on streams and stuff. But yeah, I'll have to figure out all that too. Crossing your fingers. Yeah, hopefully I can. I'm pretty excited though. It'll be crazy to see like the last 3 years of my life in a book. Yeah, it sounds awesome. It'll be nice too, because then if I want to like look back at my old stuff, then I don't have to like sift through. Like right now I have like a tub that's like pretty much filled with just like sheets of paper, well, sheets of drawing, and then I have like 4 or 5 sketchbooks that I have to like sift through to find like certain drawings. Yeah, this first art collection book will probably, well, I don't want to say it'll be the biggest, but because who knows, maybe I'll just like go on a drawing spree this year and next year and make more, but I kind of want it to be like a yearly thing, and come out with like a art collection each year, and then but yeah, I don't know how many drawings will be like in the next ones. Kind of depends on like how the next years go, but yeah, I think this first one is like it's like 3 years of drawings in one. So mm. I recently did that, but kind of like a scrapbook. It was very therapeutic. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. How do you make it into a scrapbook? Like, did you just like take all of your drawings and put them into like a binder thing? I found a really old art book that I never used and decided to gather all my old art. Then I had themes for each page, so all of my nature art we can group together like a collage, etc. Dang, that's pretty cool. I kind of wish, um, yeah, that'd be cool to do. I guess it's kind of what the art collection books are. But I cut it out, so I'm not 100% sure of your question, but I hope that. No, it's pretty cool. I wish I had. Yeah, that's interesting. Mine is nowhere near as cool, but thanks. No, that's cool though, because I haven't heard of anyone doing that before. I'm sure yours still looks pretty cool. If I could, I would show it. Buildings. Mhm. All right. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Since this one's done, I'll probably get go and eat some food and relax for a bit, and then I might come back on later today, but I don't want to make any promises. So, yeah. GG. Yeah. Great job. Thank you. Thanks again. Yeah, no problem, guys. Thank you for all you guys' questions and things today. Hanging out. It's always a lot of fun helping you guys out wherever I can and sharing my drawings with you guys. So, yeah, see you guys in the next one.